He always looked at me like that. Part 3, What I Can't Take Back. After months of denying his feelings, they finally got together. But one unexpected meeting with his parents threatened to destroy everything they had built. Here is what happy feels like when you're keeping it a secret, small, bright, like something cupped in both hands that you can't put down and can't show anyone. It had been 6 weeks since the East Quad walk. 6 weeks of Eli. 6 weeks of the specific warmth of a person who already knew everything about you before you handed it over, which means there was no performance, no careful introduction of the parts of yourself you hoped would land. He'd been watching since October. He'd already decided. I didn't know what to do with that, so mostly I just stayed near it. Near him. We were careful in public. Not obviously careful, not stiff or distant, just measured. Campus is a small world, and we both understood, without saying it directly, that I wasn't ready for the world to have an opinion about this yet. Eli didn't push. He never pushed. I was starting to understand that this was one of the fundamental things about him. He knew the difference between a door that was closed and a door that was just slow, and he had infinite patience for the slow ones. I didn't deserve that patience. I was trying to. The person who knew was Zara. Just Zara. She had known before I did, so it barely counted as telling her. She held it the way she held everything about me, without making it a thing, without bringing it up unless I did, just, present with it. Available. She did ask once, carefully, whether I'd thought about telling anyone else. I said I was thinking about it. She said okay. She didn't ask again. My parents didn't know. My parents, and this is the part one had been not thinking about since October, the locked room in the back of my head that I walked past every day and didn't open, were not going to take this well. That is the sanitized version. The real version is that my father had opinions about this. Specific, loud, biblically sourced opinions that he had expressed at the dinner table on more than one occasion when something on the news gave him an opening. My mother agreed with him the way she agreed with most things he said, which was quietly and completely. I had grown up in that house. I knew its positions. I had been not thinking about this for 6 weeks. It was working fine. Right up until the Saturday that it wasn't. It was Eli's idea to go to the market. The one on the south side of the city, the big outdoor one that ran on weekends, food stalls, vintage clothes, people selling plants out of the backs of vans. He'd been once and wanted to go back. I had no reason to say no and several reasons to say yes, the main one being that it was a Saturday and Eli was free, and I had learned over 6 weeks that Saturdays with Eli were reliably the best part of any given week. We got there at 11. It was already busy, the good kind of busy, the kind with a hum to it, everyone moving at a weekend pace. He found a stall selling food I'd never tried and made me eat something that turned out to be genuinely excellent, which he was very calm about being right about. We argued about a print at a vintage stall for 10 minutes and neither of us bought it. He spent 4 minutes having a serious conversation with a man selling succulents. It was good. It was easy. It was the particular ease that had been building since October in him and since 6 weeks ago in me, and I was inside it without thinking about it, which is its own kind of happiness, the kind where you're not monitoring yourself, you're just there. That was the problem. I stopped monitoring myself. We were at a food stall, waiting for something. He said something I don't remember, something dry, something specific, and I laughed and leaned into him without thinking about it. Just, leaned. Shoulder to shoulder. The way you do with someone you're comfortable with, the way your body does before your brain checks the coordinates. He didn't move away. I didn't move away. It lasted maybe 4 seconds. Then I heard my name. Levi. I went cold before I'd even turned around. Something in the voice, the specific register of it, the particular way it said my name, the 2 syllables of it landing like something dropped on a hard floor. I turned around. My mother was standing 6 feet away with a grocery bag in each hand and an expression I had never seen on her face before. Not anger. Not yet. Something prior to anger, something that was still assembling itself into a response, still catching up to what her eyes had just sent it. Beside her, my father. The world did the thing where it narrows down to a single point. "Mom," I said. My voice came out completely normal. "I don't know how." "What are you doing here?" she said. Also normal. Also functioning on some automatic register while the real thing processed underneath. Just, the market. I had stepped away from Eli. "I don't remember deciding to. I didn't know you were coming this way." My father was looking at Eli. "This is," I started. Eli said. He stepped forward slightly and extended his hand, and his voice was so steady that something in me wanted to collapse with relief and terror at the same time. "Eli Crane. I'm a friend from university." My father shook his hand. "Automatic. Social muscle memory. David Williams," he said. His eyes moved between us. "How do you know my son?" "We had a project together," Eli said. "Same program." It was true. It was completely true, and it was also a door being held open for me, and I walked through it. "He's one of the people I told you about," I said to my mom. "From the policy project. Professor Anand's class." My mother's expression had settled into something I couldn't read. She was looking at me, not at Eli, at me, with the specific attention of a woman who had known me for 20 years and was now running everything she'd just seen against everything she knew. "We should get lunch soon," she said. To me. Just to me. "It's been a while." "Yeah," I said. "Definitely." My father said something about the market, something about parking, something I didn't track because I was standing very still inside my own body trying to breathe at a normal pace. They said goodbye. They left. I watched them walk away until they turned a corner. Then I stood there. Eli didn't say anything for a moment. Then, quietly, "You okay?" "Yes," I said. This was a lie so complete it had its own gravitational field. We left the market 20 minutes later. Neither of us had the appetite for it anymore, though neither of us said that directly. We just ran out of momentum at the same time, the way you do when something has altered the air and pretending otherwise costs too much energy. On the bus back he sat beside me and said nothing, which was the right call. I was inside my own head and he knew it, and he let me be there. I was running the 4 seconds on a loop. 4 seconds. Shoulder to shoulder. The most ordinary physical contact in the world, the kind you'd think nothing of between any two people, and my father had been standing there looking at us, and I didn't know what he'd seen, and I didn't know what he'd thought, and I didn't know what my mother was going to say to him in the car on the way home, and I didn't. "Levi," Eli said. I looked at him. "Whatever happens," he said, "you don't have to decide anything today." I looked at him for a long moment. At the steadiness of him. At the fact that he could look at me right now, knowing everything he knew, and not need anything from me, not reassurance, not a plan, not a timeline. Just, sitting next to me on a bus. Available. "I know," I said. I didn't know. But I said it. I didn't tell Eli what I was feeling for the rest of that day. Not because I was hiding it, he knew, he always knew. I was beginning to accept that he read me with a fluency I hadn't consented to and couldn't revoke, but because I didn't have the words yet, and handing him half-formed things felt worse than silence. What I did instead was go home and call Zara. She answered on the second ring. "Your parents were at the market," I said. A pause. "Okay," she said carefully. "We were." I leaned into him. Without thinking. It was 4 seconds. "Did they see?" "My mother definitely saw." "My dad," I pressed my hand over my face. "He was looking at us." "I don't know what he saw. I don't know how to know what he saw." Zara was quiet for a moment. "What did you do?" Eli introduced himself as a friend from the project. I backed it up. Did they believe it? I thought about my mother's face. The way it had assembled itself back into normal. The way she'd looked at me, not at Eli, at me, with 20 years of knowing me sitting behind her eyes. My dad might have, I said. My mum didn't. Zara exhaled slowly. Okay. What does okay mean? It means, okay. It means we take it one step at a time. It means your mother knowing and your mother saying something are not the same thing, not yet, and you don't have to be in the second conversation until you're in it. She's going to tell him. Maybe. Zara. Maybe, she said again, firmly. You don't know what she's going to do. She might need her own time with it first. Mothers are sometimes different from fathers on this. I wanted to believe that. I filed it somewhere provisional. I lied to their faces, I said. You managed a situation you weren't prepared for. That's a kind way of saying I lied to their faces. Yes, she said. It is. A pause. Are you okay? No, I said. Okay. That's an honest answer. Do you want me to come over? No. I thought about it. I want to talk to Eli. Then do that. I don't know what to say to him. You don't have to have a speech. Just tell him what happened. I sat with that for a moment. Then, Zara. Yeah. What if my dad? One step, she said. One step at a time. That's all. I didn't feel better, but I felt less alone in it, which is sometimes the closest thing. My mother called on Tuesday. I was in the library when my phone screen lit up with her name and I stared at it for 3 full rings before I answered. Hi Mum. Hi. A pause, the kind with weight in it. Are you free to talk? Yeah. I was not free to talk. I was sitting in a library with my heart doing something medically concerning. What's up? Another pause. Longer. I could hear her deciding how to start. The boy from the market, she said. Eli. Yeah. She stopped. The two of you looked comfortable together. The word comfortable. The way she said it. Not accusatory. Not warm. Careful. Like she was handling something she hadn't decided the shape of yet. He's a good friend, I said. My voice was level. I was somewhere outside my body listening to it be level. Levi. Just my name. The way she said just my name when she wanted me to understand that she was asking a real question and wanted a real answer. Is there something you want to tell me? The library was silent around me. Someone turned a page somewhere. I thought about what I'd said to Eli on the East Quad. I don't know how to be this. I don't know who I become on the other side of it. I had said that before I'd taken the step. And I had taken the step and the world had not ended and I had not stopped being myself. I thought about my father's face at the market. Not right now, I said. A pause. Okay, she said. Not, okay, I accept that. Not, okay, we're fine. Just, okay. An acknowledgement that she had heard me and was putting it down for now. Lunch, she said then. This weekend. Your father wants to see you. Yeah, I said. Okay, we hung up. I sat in the library for a long time without reading anything. I told Eli that night. Not everything, not the full weight of it, not the thing underneath the thing, just, my mother called. She asked. I said not right now. He listened. How do you feel? He asked. Like I swallowed something sharp and it's just sitting there. He nodded. He didn't try to fix it, which is what I needed, someone to just receive it without immediately trying to resolve it. Your dad, he said, after a while. Not a question. Just, naming the thing in the room. Yeah. You don't have to tell me, but if you want to. He's not, I stopped. Started again. He has a position. On this. On people like, I stopped again. The sentence kept running into itself. He quotes scripture about it. At dinner. When it comes up on the news. He has a hole. I shook my head. Eli was quiet for a moment. Okay, he said. I'm not saying I'm not going to. Levi. You don't owe me a timeline. I know. I'm not going anywhere. I looked at him. At the steadiness of him, again, this thing he did that I was still not used to, this complete absence of pressure, this willingness to just be here without an agenda. How are you like this? I said. Like what? Patient. All the time. You've been patient since October. Doesn't it? I searched for the word. Doesn't it cost you something? He looked at me for a moment. Yes, he said. Plainly. It costs something. But you're worth the cost. He paused. And I'm not pretending it doesn't cost anything, because that would be, I'm not going to lie to you. It costs. Some days more than others. The Valentine's party cost a lot. What happened at the Valentine's party? He opened his mouth. Closed it. I'll tell you another time, he said. I made a note to ask Zara. The lunch was Sunday. I drove to my parents' house with the specific dread of someone walking into a room where they don't know which version of the conversation is waiting. My mother had made jollof. My father was in his chair. Everything looked normal, which made it worse, because normal meant we were all going to perform it right up until we weren't. We ate. We talked about my coursework. My father asked about the project grade, he'd heard about it, my mother had told him, he said something about how hard work pays off, which was the most praise he could give anything. I said thank you. Then he said, the friend from the market. My fork stopped moving. Eli, my mother said, quickly, gently. A buffer. I recognized it, the specific way she softened things before my father finished them. What's the situation there, my father said. Not, who is he, not, tell me about him. What's the situation? As if he already knew there was one and wanted me to characterize it. I looked at my plate. He's a friend, I said. A close friend. Yes. My father put his fork down. The sound of it on the plate was very loud. I want to ask you something, he said, and I want you to tell me the truth. My mother said, David. It's a simple question, he said. He looked at me. Is there something going on with that boy that I should know about? The room was so quiet. I thought about Eli on the bus, sitting next to me, saying nothing. Saying, you don't have to decide anything today. I thought about my mother's voice on the phone. Not right now. Okay. I thought about 7 months of watching Eli be patient and steady in here, and about how I had not understood until recently what it cost him, because he never let it show, because he was protecting me from the weight of it, and I had accepted that protection without thinking about what it meant. I thought about my father's face at the dining table on the nights it came up on the news. I looked up. No, I said. The word came out clean. Whole. The best lie I'd ever told, which made it the worst. My father held my gaze for a moment. Then he picked up his fork. Good, he said. My mother looked at me across the table. I looked back at her. She knew. We both knew she knew. And she looked at her plate, and I looked at mine, and we ate the rest of the meal in the careful normal of a family that loves each other and is not ready for the cost of honesty yet. I called Zara from the car. She picked up on the second ring. She heard my voice, just, heard it, one word, her name, and said, come over. I drove to her. I sat on her floor, which is where I always sat when something was too large, and I told her. All of it, the market, the phone call, the lunch, the question, the word no coming out of my mouth like it belonged there. She didn't say anything for a while. Then, how do you feel? Like I lied to my father's face. You did. I know. And I don't know if I did it because I'm not ready or because I'm scared of what he'll do or because, I stopped. I don't know where those two things are different. I can't find the line between them. Zara was quiet. Can I say something? She asked. Yeah. You didn't lie because you're a coward. You're not a coward, Levi. I've known you 3 years and you are genuinely not a coward. She paused. You lied because you love your father and you're not ready to find out what his love has conditions on it. The room was very quiet. That's a terrifying thing to find out, she said. You don't have to find it out today. I sat on her floor for a long time after that. I texted Eli when I got home. Today was hard. He responded immediately, I know. I'm here. I lied to my dad. A longer pause this time. I know that cost you something. Yeah. Do you want to talk? I looked at my ceiling. At the room I'd grown up leaving and coming back to. At the life I'd built at Westmore that my family didn't fully know the shape of yet. Not tonight, I typed. But I need you to know something. Okay, I'm not ashamed of this. I need you to know that. I'm scared. Those are different things. The 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. I know, he said. I know they are. And I'm not going anywhere. I told you. October, I said. October, he said back. I put my phone down. I stared at the ceiling. I thought about my mother's eyes across the dinner table, and what she knew, and what she was going to do with it, and whether love was sometimes just two people agreeing not to say the true thing until they both had the courage to survive it. I didn't have an answer. But I had Eli, and I had Zara. And for tonight, while the thing I couldn't take back sat in the room with me and waited, that was going to have to be enough. Part 3. The story isn't over, it's just getting to the part that matters. Part 4 is coming. Subscribe. You know what to do.